Hello, Elisa here, and this is a commentary for Dr. Puppet Episode 8, the finale.
Hey, this is Erin. I'm an animator on Dr. Puppet, and I storyboarded this episode with an assist from Rachel.
And this is the craziest thing we've ever made.
This episode was so hard to storyboard that I would lie down for hours and think about how to visually show this.
I'm sorry.
This physically impossible thing that has to look possible on screen. So that was the challenge. It's an illusion. I made it make sense.
You did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Because I think this episode is the perfect way to end our story.
Yes.
I am so pleased with how it came out.
Me too.
And I especially love this set. This set was so much fun to make. It's just a big pile of garbage. So Amanda, Rachel, Vicky would come over to my apartment and we would make little pieces of garbage. Some of it we would sculpt and paint, and a lot of it was actually model kits that we would bash. So there's a lot of Star Wars kits hidden amongst the set, so keep an eye out for those.
Yep. And this is our happier, wackier 12th Doctor. So by this point in Doctor Who, the 12th Doctor had mellowed out. And that, I think, is reflected in this, which is This whole opening sequence is a showcase for our 12th Doctor, and we're doing a lot of comedy with him, and he's just a really funny character, and yet I think he's still in character. This is the funniest shot. One of the funniest shots to me is he doesn't notice this going on.
And he's holding cheese.
He's adorable. And I'm like the resident 12th Doctor animator.
Yes,
I feel confident saying that. And I'm very committed to making sure the 12th Doctor Puppet is in character. Feels like Peter Capaldi, but also feels like Dr. Puppet, and I'm really happy with.
You should be happy. I mean, look how funny this is.
He's funny and adorable.
This is one of my favorite gags coming up because the TARDIS, just when he's trying to make his escape. I mean, what are the chances that would happen?
I love visibly frazzling the 12th Doctor Puppet. It's just funny when he's upset.
You do a great job with that.
And then, what is he looking at?
I mean, who knows?
We'll just show something that makes sense. I feel like this is the most doctory the Doctor gets in Dr. Puppet, because he has to figure out this solution to this problem really quickly, and he builds a machine.
Yeah. But this episode had time to breathe. I mean, like you said, this is basically an entire... I mean, this whole part with the 12th Doctor is an episode by itself. Yeah. And it's only one part of this, so it got to be this amazing chance to really use the Doctor as the Doctor.
And more chalk, because the gift that Peter Capaldi gave us was that he uses a chalkboard and he draws. And we use that to do so much more exposition than we could have.
It worked out so well for us because, obviously, this story was written in 2013, so we had to retcon a few things, but this was the best way to retcon.
It's better. I promise you, it's so much better than what we originally had planned.
It is so much better.
We worked really hard to make this work. And he has a stupid helmet, which is my homage to Rick Moranis. I owned his stupid helmet. And it looks great. I think it works also for the 12th Doctor. I wanted this wacky inventorness. I love that he builds things.
My commitment to the helmet was such that I drilled a hole in the puppet's head and inserted a magnet so that the helmet would stay securely on his head while we were animating.
Worth it.
Worth it.
And I love seeing him upset. It's so funny. Are you okay, 12?
Poor 12-y.
We also have him flying, like holding onto this thing and flying later, and that actually happened in Doctor Who.
Yes, it did.
But that's it. I'm out. That's the first third. I'll leave it to Rachel and Scott.
Hi, Rachel here, and this is the segment that I was the most involved in. I did a lot of the animation on the Doctors when they were on their planets, and I did a lot of the concept art for this episode as well.
Oh, I love this part.
The sequence was so much fun to do because I love being able to just like switch the puppet as I'm animating.
Yeah.
And this is all done on green screen too. Oh yeah, the holographic crystals were so much fun to make. I really pushed. I was like, we need a crystal episode, Elisa.
You always wanted a crystal episode, so I gave you a crystal planet.
Hooray! Oh yeah, this planet was a lot of fun. I was like, more camera shake, more smoke. This one was really hard to figure out.
Yeah. When we were planning this episode, you did a series of thumbnails of each planet that kind of showed the contrast and the colors and helped me build assets for the planets. You did, like, set the look.
Yeah.
We did have to approach the set making a little bit differently for this episode because there were just so many sets to build. So what you're seeing here is the puppets shot against green screen. The sets themselves were made of real objects like miniature plastic plants and rocks, but I shot them all separately and combined combine them in After Effects. For the planet with the green lava, there was a lava floor that we made, and the puppets were animated on top of that. But of course, we also had to design what the planets would look like from far away, and Rachel, you worked on that mostly.
Yeah, painting the planets is pretty cool. There's like a really cool like plugin in Photoshop that like spherified things. It was an After Effects thing.
It's called CC Sphere. Pretty fun little effect if you ever get to play around with it. Ooh, we should talk about the rip.
Oh yeah, so the rip is actually a 2D animated effect that I did and designed that we then translated into After Effects because we had to build things in a very specific way. Maybe we'll post the original GIF of that somewhere.
We should. Yeah, most of the 2D animation you did is towards the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, so I did a lot of 2D animated tests for this just to kind of figure out the timing of a lot of this effect.
Yeah, that's right,
there's
for
a lot
the
of
timing
stuff,
of the beam.
There's a lot of stuff that you feel but don't necessarily notice with the timing because like computer, especially After Effects, they kind of like make things very even.
Too linear. I have to talk about this 3D camera move right here. I did
that almost broke you.
Entirely in After Effects. It did almost
basically break you.
But I'm really proud of how it came
looks
out.
So good.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then like this warp effect, like a lot of the effects I had so much fun.
That warp effect.
Figuring out, like this one there's a lot of back and forth. Coming up is one of my favorite things to animate on all of Dr. Puppet combined.
I love this sequence.
He's just flailing in
space.
This.
Rachel animated this, and it's brilliant.
I just like making him flail. Alright, so my time's up, and Scott is up next. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks, Rachel. Yes, it's Scott here. I did the narration for this episode, the sound design, and of course the score, which you're hearing now. My favourite part of it, actually.
Mine too, and my favourite score.
Yeah, I mean, this score had to be big, bold, ballsy, brash, and with more brass.
Just like the episode itself.
Just like the episode. So we got to do some great sessions, which of course Elisa got to hop the pond and come see for the first time, which was great.
Yeah, all the more special for me because I'd never seen you record the music for Dr. Puppet in person before.
6 years is all it took.
And it was as good as I thought it would be.
I'm glad to have you there. We had an 11-piece brass section on this, which was just fantastic, and there's some great videos that you can see. So from a sound design perspective, we've got light beam stuff going on here, which was, I think, the trickiest part for us to nail down.
There was a lot of back and forth on that.
Definitely. It's ended up as a big stack of electronic sounds generated with the modular, and also there are 4 tracks of very sped didgeridoo that I played.
Sounds great.
As well. And the TARDIS comes down, and yeah, it's lovely. I'm glad. I'm glad that it's turned out so well.
Shout out to Aaron for animating this amazing shot of 12 dancing.
And giving me the opportunity to do a jaunty version of the 12 theme.
I just love now we get the Doctors uniting.
Yeah, which is a big moment.
Really, you also worked on the story with me, and we spent so much time trying to figure out how to get to this moment.
Yeah.
We knew this would be the ending, but kind of everything before was a little bit more up in the air, just to get to this point of the story at last, that it only took us 6 years.
And to bring it to a close, over these couple of bars here, you hear the arrangement of the Dr. Puppet theme as we first hear it in episode 1.
Aww.
And there's that great shot there of all the Doctors together.
Yeah, which we really wanted to do that shot. The set wasn't big enough, so we had to animate the Doctors separately on green screen and composite them in. So I animated like 2 at a time to get that.
Which is pretty much how the music is done as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Very rarely.
That's how we work.
Do you ever get musicians in the same place at once? So all of the woodwinds were recorded by one person on this score. We had another day where we did an 11-piece brass section, and then we did the strings separately, and then I had a day in the studio with Zoe where we did all the percussion and the bass and the drum kit and that sort of thing.
Speaking of all those people, you were the one who had this great idea to do the more cinematic credits here. So really kind of show off the behind the scenes and show off the people, because this is really the credits for the entire series.
Exactly. No, my thoughts exactly.
Yeah.
And it means I get to do the big, sweeping, almost cliched, but,
and
heartfelt tune.
Also, very important scene here. For years, people have been asking me where the War Doctor is. Well, he didn't exist when we made the episode he would have appeared in. So this was the solution to finally get him into Dr. Puppet.
Shoehorn him.
A little
shoehorn him into
a
the
little
episode.
bit, but I think it was worth it.
Oh, totally, totally. And speaking of worth it, I hope you all felt it was worth it when you donated to our Indiegogo campaign.
You are the reason this episode is so awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
you so much.
Thank you. We did it.
We did it.
We did it. Thank
That's
you
it.
so much for watching and supporting us over the years. Bye.